Hello, welcome everybody to this live event with Dr.Yuen. Hello, Dr.Yuen, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks for the invitation, and thanks for the people participating. So it's great to have you, and it's pretty much a public service to, especially for those who have no experience of how things could be resolved. Simply, when you are giving the right answer, and your right answer solve the problem, then you know it's the right answer, okay? And immediately solve the problem. And it doesn't solve it, then it's not the right answer, okay? And you're not doing a person who give you those answers or that answer didn't do you any justice by giving you the answers that does not lead to an immediate solution. In fact, it makes it worse. So when you have a diagnosis, you think you got the answer, or you may feel relief mentally, but if you still have your problem, or symptoms of your problem, then the problem becomes worse, right? So, and it's all about solving all life problems by the Yuen method. And it is priceless, right? There's enough people in the world that looking for a way to resolve their problem, right? So, and not only for them, for their family, for their pets and animals, even the plants and turtles, we have people come in with their requests. So anyway, so we have program for injuries, could be sport or life injuries, and we will resolve the injuries and not just talk about how long it takes to resolve it. And then we get into addiction and mental disorganization that people have that get classified as a mental disorder. And we will make children's improvement. And that's crucial for the world because they are the future of the world, and they should fit in with the intelligence of planet Earth. And we get into a program of increasing longevity and quality of life for seniors, and do the same thing for pets and animals. And I have a program that if you want to be a certified consultant, we have that program for you, okay? So, and people could improve by proxy, and they don't have to be, let's say you have a child or children or animals or seniors, they don't have to get involved, okay? So if they want to get involved, that'd be great later. Not in the beginning. Many cases that, they will have a resistance, improvement by proxy. We're the only one that have done that. When I first begin improvement over the phone, and I still have my doctor's license, and they want to report me and take away my license, right? So, hey, I'm too old to even care about license now, okay? So I am not dealing people's, healthcare conditions that embarrassing for them, and we don't have to describe in detail about the problem. In fact, the shorter you mention about the problem, the easier that I could show you how I could resolve it, and eventually you will resolve it. You just have to have the experience of doing the same, right? So, but your life condition, will improve without you understanding what I say in all my programs, or even including this one, right? So it's not about understanding. Understanding is just a bad word that people standing under something and they don't know what's going on in the world for the answers, okay? So there's nothing mystical about resolving problems. So in fact, I did have people, especially American Chinese, right? So Chinese and people in China, or the Chinese in China, they are actually open to this. the Chinese in Chinatown that I grew up in, they don't trust anybody, right? So if you do something that's different, they would say you just doing that to fool the Westerners, right? So, and that's okay, you know. There's their opinion, and if they can't do what I could do, that's too bad, and that's the reason why they're still struggling in their retirement. They don't have enough money, right? I have all the money I need, right? So, in fact, I could generate revenues and I donate them. Okay, so as I said, there's nothing mystical about this approach of resolving it. I forgot to say that this person came out and say, "What give me the right to resolve people's problems this way?" Right? Hey, if I'm a licensed doctor, you know, I have to resolve people's problems, right? So what's the point to say you're a doctor, you're a therapist, and you don't resolve the people's problem, right? So, and that's what you get, right? So it's good that, you know, I've gone through the route. Otherwise, they would say I didn't spend any time to go to school for 5 years just for chiropractic, okay? And before that, you have to spend a couple of years for pre-chiropractic. So I encourage you to encourage the children to become chiropractors, and adding the Yuen method, you could make millions of dollars that you could be secure, and they could be secure, and they don't even have to leave the house, okay? So, or leave their room if they don't want to, right? So, so there's nothing mystical about this except those who have, you know, just give the illusion that they are special, right? I'm not special. I just know how to use this computer, and I want you to know how to use the computer. And if you're into God, God gave us the computer, right? So God is not computer illiterate, right? So things get solved, right? We don't have to ask God to solve anything for us. And let God solve the problem in the universe, or the planet at least the weather and climate. So we will assist the planet, and if you're into God, then we will assist God to do the best we can with our physical intelligence to resolve the weather and the climate. And that's why we have this event, a daily event, or 5 days a week, that we address the problem in the world, and people who participate, they would feel the shift, even though there's no understanding what I say. In fact, most of the time they shouldn't bother to understand what I said, right? So again, so I would take an example that, well, I should have told you that you should write down something that you want to resolve in terms of life injuries and addictions and mental disorder or disorganization. I don't want to get into the medical model or mental problems or mental disorder. You could resolve things without having the description or diagnosis for that problem, okay? Because as I said earlier, the diagnosis is never right, okay? So at one time we used to give the medical diagnosis, you know, to be 30% right, but they're not even right even for 30%, right? So, all right, so if we have someone that want to resolve some injuries or addictions, not only in themselves, but, you know, family members.
So now we are going to take addictions and injuries, right?
Well, we have a list, right? We have,
yes.
Life, as long as you stay with it, I don't want to go off the tangent and talk about war events, right? So that comes from the daily free webinars that I do. As a public service, right? This is a public service for people that have been told that, you know, they have to learn to live with their problem for the rest of their life or die with it, right? So
Mm-hmm.
All right. So do we have anybody inputs about a specific problem that we just want to show that problems get resolved and not just talking about it, right? So there's enough talk about problems and actually generate problems for everybody, right? So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Lucia or Lucia, can you open your mic, please? ¿Puede usted? Sí.
Hi.
Hi. What is your request?
I would like to work on the schizophrenia of my mom.
Sorry?
Schizophrenia. Mental issue.
But you mentioned something different in the chat.
Well,
okay,
she is...
There's something, a mental disorganization that you have or someone else in your family has?
My mother.
Okay. So we have to improve by proxy, right? So when you think about your mom having the problem, it affects you and the rest of the family, right?
Yeah.
And those who know the family, right? So anyway, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Seattle, Washington.
Okay. All right. I've been there. You should get more weather like the old days, right? In the old days, when we talk about Seattle, it rains a lot. Hey, we need to have more rain in the West Coast, right? So that's why we want to change the weather. Okay, so
I know.
basically, when you connect with your mother's behavior, is she on medication or anything like that?
She is.
Okay, so the medication, then we will have to strengthen her central nervous system more and not be affected by the medication. Okay, so the thing is that it's really, I don't have to have you understand it, and I don't even have to verbalize it. But since we have an open forum here, I would just resolve her spirit. That is not in her mind, right? So it's always misdiagnosed. When people have spiritual problems, there's always going to be misdiagnosed as a mental problem, right? So, and the spirit connect with other spirits, especially family member spirits that have departed, and even those that still living, and also future spirits of the ancestor descendants. So there's a trillion different issues, and they're all different with each other, and the effect on her, you, and the family, again, it's a 1 trillion% in this case. Now, we would allow the physical intelligence to process that I don't, I don't heal anyone's problem, okay? So I point a direction for the physical intelligence to resolve it. Okay, now when you think about your mother's situation now, is it the same or is it different?
It's different.
Okay, she shifted, right?
Yeah.
And she will continue, could be shifted, right? So it's not a one-time thing and you come to this and you want to invest, at least something in the program for her in the program we have for mental disorganization, right? And we will bring her back to normal, okay? So, and it will improve the family as well, even though we would like to have each individual have their name and email, but then we can have that later, okay? So anyway, you feel somewhat relieved in comparison?
Yeah, I do. I just feel like a pinch in my upper brain.
I didn't put words in your mouth, right? So anyway,
no.
So thank you for participating. We want more participation so people know that we've been told that there are many, in fact, all things could not be resolved, right? So almost across the board, it doesn't get resolved. People think I'm playing God, right? What's wrong with that, right? Hey, I studied religion for 20 years, of course, Christian religion. At that time, there's no other religion. Even Buddhism was hard to come by when I was growing up in Chinatown, okay? So anyway, I know about religion, okay? So, and religion should not put a limitation on people's potential to be normal and better than normal, right? That's not too much
Correct.
respect from God, right? And we don't have to get on our hands and knees and pray and go to confession, right? So anyway, I just put that in there. All right, so let's look at something else besides addiction. Well, this is not addiction, but a certain amount of it is, but the mental disorganization, right? So we could do for children, we could do, well, this is like, for your parents or seniors. We could resolve anything you bring up, right? If I have a computer, have the solution, hey, it is not my solution. I just hit the right button to resolve the problem for you, right? As I said, that's nothing mystical about it, right? That's what we should expect with the divine creation, right? God didn't create us to be stupid, right? And a lot of people act stupid, right? Even though they're smart, right? So, that they can't solve things, right? So anyway, anything else want to be solved in that category that I listed?
El doctor Yuen sigue pidiendo peticiones en esta categoría que ha mencionado para problemas mentales y adicciones. No se preocupen que después vamos a pasar a todo. Okay, you can please mention your problem in the chat. Don't just say yes, so I can know what is your request.
Anyone that wants to come on, they should just list, their request on their chat, and you could get to them more efficiently, okay?
Okay, there are many people asking about children and pets.
Let's get one that have a serious problem about children to express that, and the other people, part of this group, will also improve by proxy, okay? Of course, it would be stronger, it's done directly, repeatedly, till you get what you want in life, right? So improving things in life, is priceless, right? Otherwise, you have to live with it, You should be generous with yourself and have professional experiences or gain them that you could resolve them and know what to expect. Okay, so all right, so I'm ready to take another person.
Okay, Iván, ¿puede usted abrir su micrófono? Iván, can you open your mic, please?
Sí, aquí estoy.
Sí, ¿qué comentaba usted de su hijo? Sea breve, por favor.
Sí, tiene desorden de atención, déficit de atención.
¿Y qué síntomas observa usted?
Él no se puede concentrar en una sola actividad, no continúa una conversación.
Okay, ¿qué edad tiene?
No habla realmente.
¿Qué edad tiene?
4 años.
His son is 4 years old. He can't speak. He has lack of attention and all the things. He is diagnosed with ADD. I think those are the initials.
Okay.
Attention deficit disorder.
So, when he connect with his son, it's troubling for him, right?
Cuando tú conectas con tu hijo, eso te afecta, ¿verdad?
Sí.
Yes.
So we will change the son. Then when he connect with his son, what's projected from his son will be different than before, right? And he doesn't comprehend what I'm saying, right?
¿Usted comprende lo que el doctor Yuen?
In my former English, right?
¿Usted comprende lo que dice el doctor Yuen?
Some things, not really clear. Not everything.
Okay.
So let's look at the sun anyway. The sun is actually, number one weakness is sensitive to planet Earth. Okay, it's like there's no escape on that planet. So we would make it so it would be strong and delete the effects of the confusing effect of planet Earth, and the people on planet Earth, right? So the experts is quick to give diagnosis. As I said, if a diagnosis is right, it resolves the problem, right? That's what you should say to your healthcare professional. Hey, if you give me the answer that's right, the problem should be resolved, right? Now, and that's not too much to expect, right? That's like a basic expectation. Now, looking at further, it's all the people confusing your boy. Even though he's 4 years old, he's like connecting with millions of people on this planet. You know, I should use him to connect with the people on this planet on my program, right? So at least know, you know, it could be paid program, it would be free program, right? So now going further, and in the future, expectation, especially come from the parents, that got verbalized by the healthcare professional, is that he needed to be treated, right, or constantly, right, for one improvement or one no improvement, right? So, you know, I have mothers have a child, a young child, they have seizures, and the doctor wanted to do a brain surgery, so I stopped that, and then actually the child, after a couple visit by proxy, I don't mean physical visit, and he doesn't have seizures anymore, okay? So we could have the mother actually give a written testimony, but, you know, that's not the point, right? So the point is that instead of naming everything that weakens your son, there are a trillion differences, and the effect is 1,000% only, okay? So, and we will have to change the effect it has on the molecules and quantum particles and atoms and other parts of his body, okay? Now, when he think about his son now, it troubles him before. If you're troubled by the condition or the diagnosis, you're not gonna, you know, by being troubled, it's not gonna improve your son, okay? Now when you think about your son now, what does that seem like?
Si usted piensa ahora en su hijo, ¿lo siente igual o diferente?
I don't know.
¿Se siente, si usted piensa en su hijo, ¿usted se siente igual que antes o se siente que algo ha cambiado en usted?
Okay, so he said he doesn't know, right?
Yeah, he doesn't know.
So if you don't know, it's like driving and don't know where you're at, right? So you go around circles and you're lost, right? So you're lost with your son. So I'm not, you know, I'm not judging you. I'm just saying that. Now, the thing is, it's not so much you, but the internal dynamic you share with your son. And that's kind of disturbing, okay? So I said, you can't just spend one shot and give it one shot, that's it, right? Now, the internal dynamic, the boundaries, and your son should be able to communicate with you through his physical intelligence, because he should not be thinking, right? The expert expect him to be thinking already, right? And be confused. Now, when he connects with his son, is he still bothered by his son's condition? Yes or no?
¿Todavía te afecta la situación de tu hijo? Di solamente sí o no.
Sí, porque no sé si él puede hacer algo.
Okay, yes.
Yes, what? Still bothered?
Yes.
Okay, so when a person is still bothered, then you could go further. Now, person is bothered. Of course, then you could tell him how he bothered. You know, you can't just say you're bothered without defining an emotion connect with how you're bothered. Okay, what kind of emotion you have?
Cuando usted siente que le afecta la situación de su hijo, ¿qué emoción siente? ¿Enfado, desánimo, tristeza, desesperanza, frustración?
Angustia, desesperanza.
Despair.
Preocupación por su futuro.
Okay.
Well, it's discouragement, but he have other discouragement in his life that have nothing to do with his son. In fact, his discouragement make his connection to strengthen his son not as strong ought to be, okay? Now, okay, so how's the emotion about or being bothered by his son? Is it the same or different?
Cuando usted piensa en su hijo, ¿siente ahora la misma emoción o está diferente?
Me siento preocupado por su futuro.
No, pero compare usted con la última vez que usted dijo desesperanza. ¿Siente esa
No, igual.
desesperanza o
Me
ha
siento
cambiado?
igual.
The same, he says.
Okay, well, he's the one with the problem. Now, all the other people that have children, do they feel any shift from being part of this process?
Ujú. Las personas que están escuchando y que tienen hijos, ¿ustedes se sienten que han cambiado ustedes en algo al ir recibiendo este proceso? Aunque no lo hayan comprendido, ustedes pueden escribir en el chat. You can write in the chat if you have children and you feel different already. It's 50-50. 50 say no, 50 say yes.
Okay, so the 50 say no change is because they have the problem and not the child, not the children, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, and that should be resolved. And, 50 is more than 50 is like 80 and 20, okay? So that's all right. Some people may not know who I am, and that's it, right? So, and we will go to another program. How about a dog or a cat that the owner is concerned about, his well-being?
¿Hay alguien que quiera presentar una petición acerca de su perro o su gato o su caballo? Yes, we have one person. One moment. Let's see. Katia, I cannot find you. Okay, Katia. Yes. Can you open your mic, please, Katia or Katia?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Hello, thank you. Yes, my dog has his back leg, the right back leg. He's got broken ligaments. He cannot walk with his leg.
Okay, so the right leg has injury, right?
Yes.
And how long ago did it have this?
I think it's about 9 months, 10 months.
Okay, so the dog's been limping for 9 months, and you probably brought to the veterinarian, right?
Yes.
And what did they suggest?
To make a surgery.
Okay, all right. So you could save people from surgery, including, your pets and animals. Okay, now, the thing is that you say the right leg has the problem, right?
Yes.
But if the left leg has the problem, make the right leg work 5 times harder, okay?
Uh-huh.
So the right leg is like 5 times more fatigue because of the left leg weakness, and the left leg connection or the right brain connection to the left leg are not as total as it ought to be, okay? And then of course the front legs are not even with each other. And then the spine is not as strong ought to be because the legs are not even. And then the cranium, have to activate the cranium so the dog would connect with its own physical intelligence instead of being confused by the veterinarian's mental, couldn't find a word.
Yes.
Couldn't find a word on that. So the mental confusion anyway to the dog. So the dog, animals have physical intelligence. Any mental intelligence they have, they got it from people or people project to them. Of course, you have scientists, have magazine and spending or asking for donation to make study if animal have a mind or not, right? So they have a mind and we all be in trouble, right? So
Yes.
okay. So now when you have to talk with you?
He's in the other room. Shall I bring him with me?
No, since it's just a short thing,
Yes.
you could do that and then, you could send us a text or email. But
Yes.
when you think about your dog now limping or having the injury, What does that make you feel like now when you think about it?
Desperate.
You said desperate?
Yes.
Okay. Well, this desperation came from the doctor, okay? And all doctors.
Yes.
The doctor's always going to make you desperate, so you have to get immediate surgery, right? So,
Yes.
so how's your desperation?
It's feeling lighter.
Desperation is not going to save the day, right? In fact, it ruined the day, right?
Yes.
And people should not, be paid by you to make you desperate, right?
Yes.
So you feel calmer now, right?
It changed into another feeling.
Well, another emotion. We are emotional basket case, right? So that's why we have to have less emotion. Even when we have less emotion, we still have more emotion than, that is needed to have a good life. So what's your other emotion since you brought that up?
Sorry, I didn't get that. What's my emotion?
I said you said you changed from desperation to something else, right?
I feel I could cry now. I feel relieved.
Well, crying is a relief, but
I feel relieved. Yes.
But you have frustration, though, right? Frustration.
Yes, I understand.
Now, who doesn't have frustration, right?
Yes, as well. Yes.
The only person that may not have frustration is me. But yeah, I still get it, but it would last for like 3 seconds, okay? Right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So you can identify frustration that bothers you, right?
Yes.
And your life would be better if it truthfully doesn't bother you and not suppressed or has, getting dementia and Alzheimer's to forget about it, right?
Yes.
So you don't have to forget about the experience of your frustration, okay? So when you connect with it, the starting point is that it troubles you, right?
Yes, it does.
Okay. So there's a million reasons. The effect is beyond infinite. It's like you can't hide from it. It's beyond infinite. Okay? Mm-hmm. Unless you leave the universe, then it still follows you. Okay? Beyond infinite.
Okay.
Now think about your frustration in comparison again. It's the same or is it different?
It's different.
Yeah, people have to be able to compare same or different from before and after, right? And if not, then they need a special, I don't mean a class, but they need some extra time, okay?
Yes.
You can't tell the difference between before and after, and it's just like driving and, you don't recognize the block that you've been there 1,000 times, right? So, anyway. Okay, so...
Thank you so much.
Let us know about your dog because we're all, into improving them because they're here for us and we should be here for them, right? So.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Yuen. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, now let's take one more person for life injuries or addiction or mental disorganization or concern about their children. So we got 50% has felt the shift. And then we have seniors, then we have pets and animals, and then we encourage people to take seriously the part of this program to improve their livelihood and everything they do. Okay, so anybody ready to input?
Yes. Karen, usted estaba hablando de su esposo drogadicto. ¿Puede usted abrir el micrófono, por favor?
Sí.
Uh-huh. ¿Desde dónde nos llama, por favor?
Chile.
This is Karen from Chile, and she is speaking about her husband who is a drug addict.
Okay. So how long has been the addiction going on?
¿Por cuánto tiempo ha sucedido esta adicción?
Lo conocí adicto.
Sí,
más de 10 años.
More than 10 years.
Okay, before she married him or after?
He was addicted when she met him.
Okay? That's why you couldn't change it as easily, right?
Mhm.
So the thing is that when she think about her husband's addiction by improvement by proxy, it bothers her that he has the addiction, right? Yes or no, okay?
Dígame solamente sí o no. Cuando usted piensa en la adicción de su esposo, ¿eso le afecta?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay. So the thing is that she has the, actually she has the final say, but she's not connecting with it. So the thing is that she have ancestors and people could say the movie or past life experiences of having husbands. Not so much they're addicted, but they're violent. That they're actually better off having drug addictions and be less violent from all her family experiences. That's is near infinite. So we'll process that to her surroundings and in the surrounding country of Chile and South America and the native that was there before other people came. All right, now what you think about her husband's addiction now, does it still trouble her the same amount?
Si usted piensa ahora en la adicción de su esposo, ¿le afecta a usted en la misma cantidad?
Menos.
Less.
Okay, so we will continue to make it last and you connect with us, then you will get what you want, okay? And I'm just going to stop here because you need the time to do a little translation. Or,
Okay,
yes,
you can take another person if you want.
all right, if the other person is, waiting, we could activate that person.
Okay, let me. There's one person that wants to ask about her 6-month-old son. Okay, let's take Sophia. You are asking about your son. Let me get you. Yes, can you open your mic, please? Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Which are the symptoms your son has?
The doctor felt it, and you can see it. It's like a little cresta. I don't know what that is in English. On his forehead, like a little.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can see something in his forehead.
On his forehead, yeah, it's a little bit bulging. There's a little kind of.
Oh, it's bulging as well, right? It's not like a birthmark, right? It's not a dark birthmark that's flat to the skin, right? It came up from the skin.
Yes.
Yeah, it's beneath the skin, the two.
But it bulges out.
It bulges out, yeah.
And it bulges out, and when you think about or you connect with it, it's troubling for you, right?
Yes.
Okay. So the troubling for you, again, it's coming from professionals that make you troubled by it. Now, so let's look at that situation. There's really something that's traumatic. It's like, you have an experience, even though it's 6 months, have experience, been shot. And that is the bullet in the head. So we have to remove the bullet right now. And there's a trillion reason why that happened. So he's down to 0. minus infinity, beyond. And other things is that projection generated by doctors that kind of get projected out inside the residence and the neighborhood, in the community, in the city. Okay, now, when she think about her son's condition, does it still trouble her the same way as before?
I'm feeling a bit more relaxed about it, yeah.
So you say more or less the same, right?
No, she's more relaxed.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. See, I don't understand the English part, right? So
Sorry.
it's okay. All right. So we could remove the bullet. So it's not an internal toxicity. It's more external. Well, taking up, it's not a toxicity. Well, it is toxicity. If you get a bullet, then you have, powder from the bullet, and so that's toxin. So let's remove the toxicity, the external toxicity as well. Okay. So anyway, keep in touch with this method and improve your life infinitely, not just for yourself, for your son, for anybody you want to improve. In fact, you should be able to want to improve everybody so we have a better world to live in. Okay. So don't say, oh, he's my enemy or she's my enemy, let her suffer, right? Well, that's not a good thing. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So women have the priorities. So what do you want to do next?
Whatever you want to do. Maybe we can just tell people
Merge
that.
into the pets event.
Sorry.
Merge into the event scheduled for pets. Is that what you mean?
No, I was just saying that to tell people about the 4 new programs you are offering.
Oh yeah. Well, it's 6 programs, and anyone want to be a celebrity and miss out being a celebrity. They could be problem solving celebrity is actually better than playing your music, or acting and music, in many ways is not that useful to the world. Okay. Problem solving, when we have enough of you that you become a problem solving celebrity with the YM program, and you will achieve financial worth that entertainment celebrity will not, right? Because they are good as that the next song or the next movie part. When you get older, no one even spend any time or money on them, right? So when you get older, like me, people still pay me, right? In fact, they want an appointment and I don't want to give it to them, right? So, we want you to assist us to change the world, to assist us to build a list of subscribers, because that's what you're going to do when you become a celebrity or problem-solving celebrity, is that you build your list. So when you build our list, you still have that list, right? So, and you would claim the expertise that you have from the Yuen method ahead of everyone, okay? I'm not saying our egotistical, just from my experience, that actually no one wants to be on the same platform with me, okay? I don't want to sound like I'm bragging like the U.S. government, right? So number one, no, well, I'm not number one. I'm just old and have experience, okay? So, and once we could build 1 million to 1 billion, then the world will change without any waging war against people or against nations, okay? So No one should be enemy with anyone, right? So enemy is within ourselves, right? We are the enemy, right? The enemy is not outside of ourselves. So anyway, did I spoken too long already for you to translate? Or
No. You can keep talking whatever you want.
All right. So as I said before, your method is only online clinic that solve your problem, not talk and defines it and redefine your problem and don't solve it and make it worse, right? So that's not too much to expect, right, from life, right? I mean, if you don't solve your problem gets worse, right? So you're not going to say, I got to have problem solved. No, you have to get the whole problem solved, then. So we do have the unique, solutional, content or direction. Our content is solving it. Now I give you a whole bunch of words. Right? So the Yuen Method ongoing clinic, means that if you're a member, you have the opportunity to, continue to improve yourself, right? Continue and constantly, and, not just yourself, but your family members, including your dogs, cats, and horses, and other animals that you may have. Okay, so it's really our inner self, which is our physical intelligence, and not relying solely on your mind and spirit. You go to school or you turn to religion, they will just want to deal with your mind and spirit. Of course, you're going to school, they're not going to talk about spirit that much, but except the fighting spirit or something, right? So that you could have utilization, actualization, and have the reality that you want, right? So everyone in the world needs a solution, okay? So you could be an expert consultant on that. You tell people now, and people always have other people, right? Now, let's say you do lose a person to your method, which is not going to happen, because we keep it on the list. So whatever program they subscribe, you will get credit for it. And if you introduce 3 persons in the world, could be anywhere in the world, right? Not in your neighborhood. So you should be able to find 3 people in your neighborhood, right? Or in your building, or of course your family is the hardest sell, right? So especially when they don't trust you at all, right? So of course we would resolve the lack of trust, right? That's what it should be done. And so the answer lies within us, right? So there was a movie called The Circle of Orion by David Carradine and Jeff Cooper. Jeff Cooper was the actor seeking the answer, right? So you're looking for all the different answers for all the different characters that came up, and he got the answer. But the answer is, the final answer is really look in the mirror of yourself, right? So, and you want to activate your physical intelligence and not confused by other people's mind and spirit. So it's about the application of knowledge, when you know it, right? So it should be automatic within seconds, not taking months or a lifetime, right? So as I said earlier, we're going to have daily podcasts on a subject matter that affect the world. So I put in my, 2-cent opinion too, right? So because everybody else does, right? And I think my position is actually better because I don't need to report to a magazine or a newspaper. I don't have a job because I got enough money, don't have to have a job, okay? Or old enough, right? So our description or announcement or even if we put ads in, our word's going to be different. I'm not going to follow somebody else's word, right? In fact, I have people write, announcement and program for me and it sounds like everybody else's. So I don't want that to be part of me. Of course, then the extra time that I don't want to put in, right? Hey, I'm pretty much retired, okay? So I don't want to be working like those Chinese work in China, they claim in today's news that they work from 9 o'clock to 9 o'clock, 6 days a week. So they got a number called 996, okay? So that's in the internet. So they try to pass the law. Well, they should have a law against it. And workers should unite to a certain extent. They don't have to form a union. They should be able to speak collectively and tell the owners or inform the owners that what they as worker, expect, need, want, and desire, okay? So they gave a description, someone who got a heart attack and when they're taking a break, right? And die from it, right? So, of course, you don't want to see people working 9 to 9, 6 days a week, right? Well, at least Monday is off. There are people who used to work 7 days a week, right? And now only 9 to 9. It could be 8 to 10 at night, right? Hey, I think I have experienced that myself. Right? So that's why I say, hey, don't ask me to teach you Kung Fu, okay? It's not worth it. So that's why I want to teach martial art instructors to, they always say they have a wellness center, but they don't know anything about it, right? I mean, I'm talking about the teacher. So we give them an opportunity that they could join us and make a list of people that they're willing to pay to have their problem solved. Hey, it worth everything. If all the problem in your family solved, hey, that's priceless, right? It's not like $2 or doesn't worth anything. Hey, I pay charity more than, in fact, all of you pay me monthly, all right? Well, I'm not saying to be bragging, but what's money? Money is just an energy. You make it flow, right? Then you have more of it. But you keep it in one place, it's like keeping water in one place that gets stagnated, right? Hey, it has to flow and continue to strengthen you and not weaken you, okay? And we could do that for you, right? With your internal computer, and you could learn how to do it. So this is not about learning. This is about doing it for you first, and then you learn it by osmosis, okay? That's the best way anyway, because I have programs that increase children's learning ability, and especially for math and science, okay? So we make your children students or better students, and they're not going to attract any bully, and they're not going to be the bully, okay? So in many ways, you compare all the countries in the world, the U.S. is the bully, right? We number one, we better than anyone else. So don't listen to us, then they would name the consequences, right? So what's the point? So let's make sure that we make everyone even. They're not going to do that anymore, okay? So don't be surprised when people change their mind, or the spirit doesn't have to be changed for this one. Most likely it already been changed, because we do spend time on the U.S. of A, and because they're number one in shooting people down on the street too, okay? So, but it should not come out with number one comments and say that, oh, we American, we don't walk out with our toes between our legs. It's like, now why you have to make a statement like that, you're still in junior high school or something, you know? And these are newscasters, right? Oh, we're American. We don't walk out, you know, with tail between our legs. Hey, if somebody put a gun in your head and you have a cow with inheritance, you'd be shaking and you probably faint, okay? So American, you know, you can't speak for all Americans. There are cowards in every nationality, right? So anyway, so we could resolve things that you can even predetermine how long you want to live on this planet, right? So you're doing time on this planet, right? So I feel like I'm doing time. If I live to be 100, I got 20 years to life, right? So, so I might get parole, right? If for good behavior. So maybe after 15 years they parole me instead of let me serve out my 20-year sentence, right? Well, anyway, do we have enough input? Should we take people who still have pets, because our next program is on pets, right?
Yes.
I'm just asking you. I don't know my schedule, okay? So,
Oh,
so
yeah.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
So we could continue with this for a little time and deal with people's pets, right? And we could ask the same person about her dog. How's the dog responding?
Oh yeah, this person that was asking about her dog, Katia, I think. How is your dog now? Can you? Okay, we are going to open your mic. Oh, but look at him. If you feel it's different to you, she says the dog is sleeping, but you can feel if it feels different.
All right, that's fine. Don't want to disturb the dog nap, right? Okay. All right. You know, another time, right? So, I mean, I don't want to use the word hope. I hope this is not the last meeting that you're going to have with us, right? So, anyway, so let's get other people who has pets, or you could come back later if your dog wakes up from the dog nap.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, do you want to take another request, or we should?
Yes. Well, we already kind of demonstrated that we resolve people's pets and animals by proxy, and we're the only one doing it. See, a lot of people have programs and change their attitudes and all that. Hey, we do that, okay? We used to have veterinarian doctors from all over the country come to our live event, and we have dogs that come up on the stage that are limping, and they don't limp anymore, or cats. But you know, that's time consuming, right? So, so we could take, you know, other pets, because the owner have to separate their mental, effect on the pet, and especially also hire a veterinarian doctors, and all they do is just thinking, okay? And then their spirit always gonna expect the worst in an animal.
Okay, we have one person. Let me get him. Is Javier. I'm gonna let you open your mic. Let's see. Where are you? Okay.
So we're just gonna do like 3 examples, okay? We're not gonna here to show you that we're gonna resolve everyone's problem. And I've done that in the past, and it doesn't serve anybody any good, right? So they think that whatever problem they have has already been resolved. Okay?
Sí, Javier, díganos qué es lo que observa usted en su animal. ¿Qué animal es?
Es un Maltese.
Sí.
Yeah. Maltese. I have a Maltese that has thyroid issues, and so she has mood changes and attacks and barks for no reason.
Okay, so where are you living? I mean, what part of the country?
Rancho Cucamonga in California.
Oh, okay. Cucamonga. I used to own a house there.
Yeah?
I mean, not for living, for investment.
It's a good investment.
follow a person called Marshall Reddick, and he owns like 300 real estate property in this country, and he was a professor in Cal State University, a PhD, and we believe that he knew what he was talking about, right? So he overextended himself too, so with 300 different properties. Well, anyway, so let's get into your situation. Are the dog available for you, or you just do it by?
Yeah, it's right here, right next to me.
Okay, so when you connect with what you describe about your dog, say we're gonna make that simple. You have some troubling thought connection with it, right?
Have some what connection?
Yes, no answer, right? So to establish the baseline of how you are when you start, okay? So when you think about your dog, you're not just happy about it, right? About his conditions, right?
No.
Yeah, so you could connect with that. You could say unhappiness, and then the connection. You need two to have a connection. So it comes from the animal to the owner, or the owner to the animal. Okay. So now, the thing is that your dog actually think that you kind of more mental than you ought to be. Okay. So let's resolve that, right? So dogs don't want to connect with the owner's, mental conflicting thoughts, right? Or problems. So let's just resolve. So your thoughts, actually think about one thought that troubles you, that if that thought doesn't affect you, your life would be easier in comparison, right? You have anything like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone say, of course we do, right?
Right.
Right. So there's no escape, right? So we will make the hundreds of certain people here escape that. Of course, that kind of also need a reinforcement, right? It's not a 3-second permanent, and it could be, right? So you connect with a thought that troubles you, and when you connect with it, you feel the shift, right? In you to a certain extent, right? Is that a yes or no answer? Or?
Yes.
Okay. Now, again, we could name them, but there's a million things here, okay? If you do a 1 and 0 number, okay, the language of the computer, of the universe is binary. Right, so we connect with that. And the effect on a dog is infinite, and affect the internal dynamic you share with your dog is like 1,000,000%. The boundary collapses, and the surrounding of the home is kind of disturbing too. So there's no uniformity and balance as it should, or stabilize and center. Okay, now when you think about your dog again, or you look at your dog, how's your dog seem like to you?
At the moment, very calm.
Well, it was calm before, right?
Yes.
Okay, but when you think about the dog's condition in comparison, and also your thought too, right? So I kind of get ahead of myself. Your thought that bothers you, does it still bother you when you think about that particular thought?
No.
Okay, good. So that's an improvement, right?
Yeah. Great improvement.
That could be an improvement that worth millions to you, okay? All right? Depends what you do with it. Okay, now going further. So you say your dog's condition initially have an effect on you. Does it still have the same effect on you?
No.
Okay. So you know where you're at, which is good. And when your dog could communicate with you from brain to brain, like computer to computer, not a computer to, to an animal that computer was not even invented, right? So, I mean, the dog doesn't need the invention of computer. They already have a computer. I'm just saying that your dog would be able to communicate with you better from brain to brain or central nervous system to central nervous system, not the central nervous system of your dog to something that's mental or spiritual. Okay, so you feel that your dog gonna be different, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So that's how we do it. Of course, different way of doing it would be different too, right? It's not here's the standard way to do it, and we're going to do it the same way for the next 1,000 times, right? So every situation is different. As if you have a computer, every input from outside to the computer is different, right? You're not gonna have life experience and repeat yourself infinitely, right? Okay.
Right.
So thank you
very much
for being part of it, and let people know, right? So, and when people know, they don't have to, spend a lot of expenses and time and make their pet not as good as they want them to be. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Javier. And thank you very much, Dr. Yuen. Many people in the chat were saying they felt different about their animals.
Okay. Because we have a tendency to think or use our thinking applied to them, right? Then, of course, your pet, just like children, right? If you're too mental or even too mental, they're born, you have a chance of having mental disorganization, right? If you have a child that's more autistic, more tended to be autistic, right? So when children have autistic diagnosis or symptoms, it could be resolved in your method. Now, how much is that worth in a lifetime, right? So you pay less than $100 and we meet twice a month. And if there's more people, I will increase the frequency, okay? So there will be a constant, you could join any time. So it's not you have to start from what you think at the beginning. You could start anywhere in the middle or not at the end. Well, you could be at the end and we could reverse in time and go forward, right? So anyway, so looking at the situation, I just want to let people to know that it's really investment in your welfare of your future, not just yours, but your family and pets. Of course, your pets would be your family too, right? So anyway, let's take another person that wants to have better answers for their pet. I have trained hundreds of veterinarians and animal communicators, and I gave seminars, for decades. So getting hundreds of people is not a lot if I've been doing it for decades, okay?
Okay, Brenda, you were asking about your dog. Can you open your mic? Brenda?
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, my dog is Yorkshire. He's 5 years old, and he often coughs. And the veterinarian, the vet said that.
Did he resolve the cough?
I'm sorry?
Will the cough resolve? You still have a cough?
No, it comes and goes. It depends.
Okay, what you gone to the veterinarian for? For the cough or for something else?
No, the cough.
Okay.
And the cough. And the veterinarian said that maybe he has a large heart. That's why he coughs.
maybe, it could maybe the tail or the nail or the hair on his head, right? So, the situation is that by proxy, and animals have breathing problems or coughing because they have a leaking gut as humans, okay? Because a lot of times they eat human food or human eating food, the effect of the food on a human affects their pet, okay? Now, so basically when you think about your pet, it troubles you of the pet's condition, right? Even though it's not serious, but the heart condition is serious, more serious, right? So, all right. So if you think about heart condition of the dog, like they say, maybe it kind of rubs you the wrong way, right?
Yeah.
Kind of makes you kind of desperate. Okay, let me see the veterinarian more often than they may be able to resolve it. Unfortunately, if they don't resolve the first time, they're not able to resolve it. Okay, right? That's not asking too much as human being on this planet, right? For thousands of years. Now looking at the situation, I say it's a colon. So I would just strengthen the entire colon of your dog, okay? And also now include the digestive small intestine, okay? There's two systems here, the digestive system and the eliminating system. But if you put that in as one system, then you don't know what to solve, okay? It's almost like, your bathroom and your kitchen, they're separate rooms, right? So, and they should be treated separately and not, you're not going to have your bathroom, your kitchen, your bathroom, right? So, I'm just making fun, okay? So, and that's what people do, right? So,
yes. Okay.
Now, just from the answer, I didn't need to verbalize it, but now when you think about your dog's condition, coughing temporarily or have possible heart condition, did those maybes have an effect on you?
It does because it worries me, but...
Okay, so it does, right? Okay, then you have to go further because it's worry is the problem, not the condition, okay? Now, let's resolve, at least temporarily, all your worries. No effect there, okay? Now, how's your worry about the condition?
Better. Lighter.
So it's your problem, right? It's not the dog's problem. You're worried makes the dog worse, right?
Okay. Thank you.
I mean, of course, it sounds like I'm kidding, but at the same time, it's the truth, right? The truth is humorous, right? And as long as they resolve it, right? Now, when you think about your dog's condition in general, you're not as emotionally involved with it, right?
Yes. Yes.
See, a lot of people, they have family members, who have severe conditions in the hospital perhaps and all that, and they worry about them. They actually make it worse for them, okay? Right?
Okay.
I know it's heartless to totally disengage, right, your mind and spirit from a person that need to increase their physical intelligence more, that they actually get more confused with people's constantly worrying about them, right? Okay, so let me take one more and just show the example that anything could be resolved with knowing that you have a computer with the right program. You put in the problem, you receive the solution in less than a minute, and that is slow, okay? It should be within a few seconds. But, don't hold me up on it, okay? I don't want to be pushed either, okay? So, to be faster, okay?
Thank you.
I want to be fast, but I don't want to be working to be fast to prove something because I already done it for 35 years, okay? Now, now again, we take another person if they want to share their experience with the animal. or the pets.
Yeah, Sofía, this is another Sofía. Sofía Morales. ¿Puede usted abrir su micrófono, por favor? Sofía Morales. Sí.
Hola.
Sí. Dice usted que tiene una cachorrita que camina pero con dificultad.
Sí, ella nació, ella es hija de una perrita pequeña también y su mamá tuvo 7 perros y entonces ella tiene sus piernitas.
No es necesario.
Ay, sí, perdón, la
emoción.
emoción.
Muy bien.
Ella tiene sus patitas traseras y...
¿Qué tiempo tiene?
5 meses tiene.
Okay. She has a dog who is 5 months old and she was born with her back legs were rigid and she can walk but it's difficult.
Okay, so have this dog been to veterinarian?
¿Ha llevado a este perro al veterinario?
Sí, le mandaron...
Yes. Okay, that's all you have to say, yes or no, okay?
Okay, solo sí.
Yes.
Muy bien. Yes.
So the thing is that we do it by proxy improvement, and since it's a quick event, we're not going to wait for result inputs. So so the starting point when she connect with the dog's hind leg, it troubles her, right?
Cuando usted conecta con el problema de la perrita, eso le afecta, ¿verdad?
Just yes or no, okay, right?
Diga solamente sí o no. Yes.
Sí.
Okay. So using that as the starting point, okay. Now, the thing is that imbalance of the legs and feet, and it kind of is like the dog's walking on the hind legs, and the front legs are not sharing the body load, okay? So that's an engineering problem, okay? So most doctors don't have much of an engineering background, okay? In fact, they have none, unless they became engineers first and then become doctors, okay? Now, the shoulder are not even with themselves, and then the shoulder's not even with the opposite hip, okay? And then also the tail need to be the physical intelligence of the central nervous system, the tail needs to be activated because it's been shut down, because this tail has been traumatized through the ancestral line. All right, now when she think about her dog hind leg condition, it still affects her the same way.
Si usted piensa ahora en la situación de su perra, ¿le afecta igual o diferente?
Diferente.
Okay. You feel like there's an improvement, right?
Sientes una mejora, ¿verdad?
Sí. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. So I myself have a connection with San Diego Humane Society. So we would like to raise, or I like to, or we raise more funds for them, and by having people they have on their list to come to our event and pay for it, right? They don't charge that much. So that would be more of a donation that comes out of my own pocket, right? So, and so you could write to the Humane Society of San Diego, or San Diego Humane Society, that actually we're going to have the letters sent to me from them every month, and I don't answer them. Well, I try to answer them, but just to be polite. So they send me the whole thing that I have to read. It would take me like 5 minutes to read it. So if she could not send me a detailed description, and it's just like I expect people come to me, don't give me any detailed description or history, long history of anything. Okay, once you shorten it up, you ought to have more chance of resolving the problem. So that's what I have to say. Do we have time for one more, or you want to go to the translation?
We can take another one if you want.
Okay. Well, I just want to be able to, people share the experience and share with others, right? And that's how the world changed. If you don't want to share with others, it is your failure with your purpose in life, okay? And then kind of make other things in your life weaker than it ought to be. So everyone knows, some people that have problems that, they could be spending thousands of dollars and don't resolve them or ever resolve them. And they get emotional about their problem, not only their problem, but, the children and the pets, as well as, the parents. Okay, so the person have time to write down what the person wants, right?
Yes. Mine, ¿puede usted abrir su sonido, por favor? Mine Ruiz.
Sí, claro. Buenas tardes. Gracias. ¿Me escucha?
Sí, ¿desde dónde nos llama, por favor?
De Tijuana, México.
¿Y qué problema tiene usted?
Mis gatitos están pequeños, pero desde la mamá a los hijos, muchas amibas y lombrices, de hecho, en las heces.
Okay, ¿cuántos gatitos son?
14.
Okay, this is Mine from Mexico, and she says she has 14 kittens now with the mother, and they have a lot of parasites in their feces.
14 kitten in one litter, or what?
14 kitten and the mother.
I mean, in one birth, litter.
¿Los 14 gatitos son de la misma madre?
No, es una abuela, 2 hijas y 8, 4 de cada.
Okay. ¿Cuántos gatos de cada madre, perdón?
Los bebés son 4 y 4, 8. Luego 2 mamás y la abuela y
los adultos y los gatitos, ¿todos tienen parásitos o solo los gatitos?
No, todos.
Okay, she says she has 8 kittens and the rest are adult cats, and all of them, the 14 cats, have parasites.
Well, if they have that much parasite, then we have to give her a name that deal with animal parasite. Okay. Now I could strengthen the process for it to work more efficiently, but the thing is that when she think about her cats have parasites, it's troubling for her, and it's just like worrying about a family member is in the hospital in a serious condition, actually make this serious condition more serious. Okay, so when she think about the parasite in those kittens and the cat, it has an effect on her, right?
Cuando usted piensa en todos estos parásitos en sus gatos y gatitos, eso le afecta a usted, ¿verdad?
Sí, porque a mi niña ya la desparasité.
No, solamente tiene que decir sí o no.
Sí.
Yes.
Okay. So the parasites is carried, by some cats or this cat or mother cat from any grassland or dirt that they've been subject to. Okay, so we would ensure that the lymph fluid and other fluids in the body to be more alkalized and have a strong negative charge, and the parasites could harness the energy of the central nervous system to become molecules and quantum particles, and going back to before the occurrence of parasites. So go back in time to the quantum particles, to another dimension universe, exists in time and space, places unknown, other energy fields. Okay, now other things would be the effect of her mentally concerned about that it cannot be resolved. So, and it should have been resolved as soon as you see the veterinarian with the parasites, that you could purchase a drug for parasite for animals very inexpensively on Amazon, okay? Because I don't sell anything like that. Other things would be the fear that the owner has, that actually have a fear of solving it first. So your condition in her life that when she solved one thing, they bring up a million things that didn't get resolved. Okay, so let's reverse that ratio. Okay, now she connect with her cats now about the parasites. Does it still troubling her as before?
Si usted vuelve a pensar en los parásitos de los gatitos, ¿le afecta igual que antes o diferente?
No, diferente, ya menos.
Different, less.
Okay. So let's get out her molecules and atom of her body. Alright, so then her body would resonate with the cells and molecules and atoms of her pets, or the pets from the past, so not just the present time. Okay? Now, is that common situation?
¿La situación está más calmada ahora?
Sí, dejé de sudar un poco más.
Yes,
Okay.
she says she stopped sweating.
All right. So I invite you to join my program because it's the best investment you can make in your life. That includes everything in your life. Okay. And I know I'm making big claims here that Facebook see my claim, they would ban me for life, right? So, all right. So that's why I rely on your good participants that to see this type of approach resolved for other people on this planet, so we have a better planet to live on. Okay, and that's the only reason why I'm doing it. Okay. All right. So anyway, I would need you some time to translate to Spanish, and when people have other languages that they want to translate to, we could work something out so it would be beneficial for your method as well as for you financially. So not just having prestige, right? Or prestige in the academic universities, they have the prestige, but hey, they don't have money to spend, right? Or improve others. So, of course they would say money is not that important. Well, hey, you don't have it. It's just an energy, as I said, It should continue to strengthen you. Any weakness you have, you want to ensure to be less and less of that. So you can increase your financial network as the years go by, and you could be the celebrity in solving people's problems and not just act like a fool on a movie and get an award from acting like well, I shouldn't say a fool, but or maybe I should. And so this is real life, okay? Now, what more can you ask for? You think phony life or pretend life is better? Well, then we have a problem, right? That problem will have to be resolved, right? Everybody in the West Coast, especially in Los Angeles, all want to get into the entertainment business, right? And that's their last chance, which is ridiculous, right? So when you bring benefit to the world, you will never run out of money circulating around you. All you have to do is just reach forward and be stronger and not be knocked over and become a emotional, disorganized basket case that you can't deal with it, that you might have to turn to drugs. That's why a lot of celebrities in the entertainment business, they can't put up with their success. But if they see me, hey, they could put up with their success, and I could resolve, their problem by proxy, but, I don't owe it to them, right? So I have resolved celebrities, and they don't even want to put one word out that I solved their problem, right? So they want to keep it quiet, right? So my experience when I went to China, there was 20 to 50 people in the park watching, mostly Caucasian American in the park. And then we asked a question about any problems they have, and they got all their problems resolved, okay? And that's like more than 10 years ago. And even the communist Asian making sure that I'm not going to talk about religion and embracing whatever spirituality or something. Even then, they give me a fist up that I've done a good job for them as well as for the general public that we don't know who they are, right? So nobody even had the nerve to tell people I did that, right? So after 10 years, I probably don't even have anybody have told that. Well, you could say make-up story, right? So, all right. You can ask people that was there, but they may have forgotten, right? And some of them no longer alive, right? So after 10 years. So as I said, when you know this method, you could you could change your time for being here, okay? So and you could get off on parole, right? If you know this method. Or you can extend your jail time on this planet, right? So instead of 20 more years, it could be 30, right? So you call the shot, right? You call the shot for everything. And what's wrong with that, right? So you got religious groups and spirituality groups that, say you can't change or call the shots. Only God will call you that night to not wake up in the morning, right? So it doesn't work like that, okay? So at least my 20 years, of course there's a contradiction in that 20 years that I studied religion, okay? Now, so I have studied a lot of things, but actually I didn't study. I was just there, right? So it just came into me, and I didn't memorize anything, right? Because I didn't have any words to memorize anything, so I couldn't get confused, right? So that's why if it was, up to the psychologists in this modern day, they would say I have, autism, okay? So anyway, in fact, they get upset when I didn't comprehend what they say in English, right? And only knew how to say a few words in English, right? They actually get personally mad about it, right? It's like, oh, you don't belong here. You have to speak English, right? Well, we're not going to learn it, right? So anyway, I'm ahead of those clowns out there, and if they're alive, most of them are not alive, and I'm kind of old, so there's some retribution there. Well, I'm not going to say retribution, but they should treat people better, right? So, people don't comprehend your language. There's no reason why you should get mad about it, okay? All right? So I don't comprehend people's language most of the time, right? So, which is good. So I don't have to hear it, right? So I will hear some of it, and that's good enough, right? Not all of it, right? So listen too much, thinking too much, worrying too much, or testing, testing, those are negative mental experience that people have, right? So when you have a problem, don't talk about it, okay? Don't talk about 10 times to make the problem worse, right? Or some people actually talk about 100 times, right? And they wonder why they don't have a life, right? So let's delete as a public service that you're going to talk less and you know, other people think that something wrong with you, right? So when people have, you know, verbal diarrhea, they would not do that to you, okay? So they only say 2 or 3 words, describe the situation, and you could resolve it. And if you have enough experience, you can resolve by your presence. And that would be beneficial to your fellow creatures. Okay, I haven't stopped talking, so do you want to take over?
Yes.
All right, so we will have more of these the no-cost events, but it's really up to you to improve the world, and I will make it so that you will improve the world and get paid for it, okay? All right? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Yuen. Okay, Dr. Yuen finished with his strengthenings. Now we are going to mention the translation into Spanish. Okay, because it's a lot of it. Okay, ahora vamos a mencionar la traducción al español. El Dr. Yuen ya finalizó con sus fortalecimientos. Sepan ustedes que ustedes han recibido los fortalecimientos incluso antes de escuchar la traducción. Esto funciona así, ¿de acuerdo? El Dr. Yuen dice que esto es un servicio público para todos los que no saben cómo obtener la respuesta correcta. Aquí resolvemos la pregunta enseguida. No es como cuando ustedes les dan una respuesta a su pregunta, pero esa respuesta no soluciona el problema. Entonces no es la respuesta correcta. La respuesta correcta lleva a la solución y a la resolución. Se trata de resolver todos los problemas de la vida y esto no tiene precio. Hay muchas personas en el mundo que necesitan esto, así que díganselo al mayor número de personas posible. Lo único que tienen que hacer es venir y escuchar. El Dr. Yuen ha dicho, resolveremos todos los problemas de animales y de niños, así como de ancianos, las adicciones, los problemas mentales y las lesiones deportivas y de la vida. Ha dicho que podemos incrementar la longevidad y la calidad de las personas mayores y también de los animales, y también se puede fortalecer a los niños, se puede mejorarlo todo. El Dr. Yuen tiene ahora unos cuantos programas en funcionamiento. Hay un programa gratuito que es todos los días, de lunes a viernes a las 11:45 de la mañana, hora de California. Ustedes pueden ver la información en la página del Dr. Cam Yuen en español, o en la página de las Tres Mosqueteras, o en la página de Lore Hatton, o de Mariam Shubak, de Cristina Horvath, creo que también. Y después hay unos programas de pago para si ustedes quieren de verdad solucionar en profundidad cualquier problema que tengan. Son muy económicos, salen alrededor de unos $100 al mes y ustedes tienen varias reuniones al mes con el Dr. Yuen. Hay un programa para niños, hay un programa para animales, hay otro programa para personas mayores o para longevidad o para no envejecer, donde el Dr. Yuen se fortalece a sí mismo incluso, porque él tiene 80 años. Hay otro programa para problemas mentales y adicciones. Hay otro programa para lesiones deportivas y lesiones de la vida. Y hay otro programa que es la certificación, si ustedes quieren aprender a hacer el método Yuen. Incluso se puede fortalecer a personas que no están presentes a través de la persona que se ha inscrito. Ustedes pueden fortalecer a un animal, a un niño que no está con ustedes, a un familiar que a lo mejor no se quiere inscribir. También pueden hacer eso. El Dr. Yuen dice, hay personas que incluso quieren intentar retirarme la licencia de doctor que yo tengo, pero no pueden porque yo no hago medicina. Lo que yo estoy haciendo es diferente. Y yo no aclamo que hago medicina. Ha dicho el Dr. Yuen, no intenten ustedes entender las cosas, no hace falta que intenten entender porque es la mente la que intenta entender, solo sientan. Déjense llevar y permitan que su computadora interna reciba los fortalecimientos. El Dr. Yuen ha dicho, hay personas en Estados Unidos que creen que China es una amenaza, pero esto no es cierto, es solo su opinión. Si estas personas no pueden mejorarse a sí mismos como yo lo hago, es que no tienen la respuesta correcta. Y si tampoco tienen dinero en sus vidas, es que tampoco les va tan bien con lo que hacen. Yo sí tengo dinero, entonces debe ser que no estoy haciendo las cosas tan mal, ¿no? Hay médicos y especialistas que no pueden resolver los problemas de las personas, pero yo sí puedo, esto es lo que hago, resolver los problemas. Yo animo a sus hijos a que sean quiroprácticos y añadan a eso el método Yuen. Entonces tendrán mucho éxito. Incluso ahora pueden trabajar online, todo esto se puede hacer online. Yo no soy especial, esto lo puede hacer cualquiera, lo único que sucede es que yo tengo más experiencia en hacer esto. Dios lo que quiere es que avancemos. Dios no querría que nos quedemos estancados. Podemos hacer todo lo mejor que podamos para el clima, para el planeta y para mejorar a todo el mundo. Esto lo hacemos en el programa diario que tenemos de lunes a viernes. Anímense a venir también. Podemos mejorar todo sin tener que hablar mucho del tema. Hablar mucho no mejora nada. Hay una persona que ha dicho que su madre tenía esquizofrenia y el doctor Yuen ha dicho, a usted le afecta el problema de su madre, ¿verdad? Y ella ha dicho sí. Bien, pues entonces tenemos que borrar la preocupación de usted, porque cuando una persona está preocupada por lo que le pasa a otra o por lo que le pasa a un animal, eso solo va a hacer que la situación esté peor. Ha fortalecido el sistema nervioso de su madre frente a la medicación que está tomando y la persona dijo que se sentía diferente. Y el doctor Yuen dijo que hay que seguir fortaleciendo esto. No se trata solo de un fortalecimiento, hay que seguir fortaleciendo y le ha recomendado que inscriba a su madre en el programa para problemas mentales. Esta persona ha dicho que se encontraba mejor. El doctor Yuen dice que la gente le dice que no juegue a ser Dios. Y el doctor Yuen les dice, ¿y qué hay de malo en eso? Estudié religión por 10 años y la religión no debería poner limitación en el potencial de las personas. Nosotros podemos hacer esto y Dios querría que lo hiciéramos, que pudiéramos mejorarnos a nosotros mismos. El doctor Yuen dice, yo lo único que hago es conectar vuestra computadora con la solución y entonces aprieto el botón correcto que hay que presionar y entonces se resuelve el problema. Dice, Dios no nos creó para ser estúpidos, nos creó para poder resolver nuestros problemas. ¿Qué hay de malo en esto? No hay nada de malo. Bien, hay una persona que dijo que tiene una perrita que nació con sus patas rígidas y que no puede caminar bien, que camina pero con dificultad. El doctor Yuen ha nivelado las dos patas, ha fortalecido la columna, ha fortalecido el cráneo y ha fortalecido al animal y a todos los animales aquí para que conecten con su inteligencia física y no sean debilitados por las debilidades mentales del veterinario ni de los dueños cuando los dueños se preocupan. Esta persona dijo que se sentía desesperada cuando piensa en su perro y el doctor Yuen dijo que esa desesperación provenía del veterinario. Ahora la persona ya dijo que se sentía mejor. Y el doctor Yuen les ha dicho, conecten todos con esto. Así es como se hace, borrando la preocupación del dueño, el animal mejora. Es mejor no tener emociones. Y el doctor Yuen siguió borrando emociones para esta persona y para todos los asistentes. Y esta persona dijo que sentía que quería llorar, pero se sentía aliviada. El doctor Yuen dijo que había debilidad con frustración. Y dijo el doctor Yuen, yo ya no tengo frustración, ya me lo borré, pero a veces tengo frustración cuando proviene de otros. Dijo, no debemos olvidar las cosas, no hace falta olvidar las cosas para que no nos afecten. Lo que hay que hacer es borrar la emoción, entonces recuerdas la experiencia, pero ya no te afecta. La persona ya dijo que se sentía diferente acerca de su perrita. Y el doctor Yuen dijo, hay que saber comparar y saber si estás diferente o no respecto a antes. Hay que saber percibir eso, todo el mundo debería poder percibir eso. El doctor Yuen dice, los animales están aquí para nosotros y deberíamos estar aquí para ellos también. Y esto se consigue no teniendo emociones y borrando la preocupación. Hay una persona que dijo que su esposo tenía adicciones y el doctor Yuen dijo, el verdadero problema viene de esta persona que ha tenido experiencias de ancestros adictos y violentos. Así que ha borrado eso. Y ha borrado que la persona se sintiera preocupada por el problema de su esposo. Después hubo una persona que presentaba un problema de su hijo que tenía 6 meses, que tenía como una protuberancia en la cabeza y tenía otro diagnóstico de los médicos. Y el doctor Yuen dijo, este niño tuvo experiencias de haber sido disparado en la cabeza en una vida anterior. Por eso ahora tiene esa protuberancia en la frente. Esto hay que resolverlo en su espíritu y si no, no hubiera sido resuelto. Y ha borrado también la preocupación de los médicos acerca de la situación. Y ha borrado también la bala de la vida anterior, que es en realidad toxicidad externa, porque fue algo externo que penetró en el cuerpo y bueno, era tóxico también. Ha borrado esto. El doctor Yuen dijo que en estos programas gratuitos hacemos un fortalecimiento de un momento, ustedes consiguen una mejora en este momento, pero para resolver sus problemas del todo deberían inscribirse en los programas que tiene el doctor Yuen. Tiene estos 6 programas que hemos dicho, cada uno para un tipo diferente de problema a resolver. Son muy económicos, son tan solo $100 al mes. De hecho, hay unos cuantos programas que han empezado nuevos, el de niños, el de animales, el de personas mayores y el de problemas mentales y adicciones para nuevas inscripciones. Ustedes se pueden inscribir 4 meses y pagan solo 3. Y tienen varias reuniones al mes con el doctor Yuen y en estos programas se consigue mejorar muchísimo constantemente. Además, tenemos un programa de comisiones que si ustedes recomiendan a otras personas que se inscriban en esos programas, ustedes pueden obtener comisiones y encima pueden pagarse el programa para ustedes mismos solo con las comisiones y no tendrían que gastar dinero. Si ustedes quieren saber más acerca de esto, pueden escribir al correo contacto@yuenmethod.es. Si no han podido tomar el email, pueden ustedes después escuchar la grabación en Facebook que queda grabada y pueden volver a tomar nota para el email. Dice que ustedes pueden asistirnos para mejorar al mundo. Díganselo a cada vez más personas. Cuantas más personas sigamos cada vez en estos programas, más fuerte será y más fuertes serán los fortalecimientos. El doctor Yuen quiere llegar a 1 millón de personas que sepan esto. Cuando ese número de personas sepa de esto, entonces estaremos cerca de acabar con las guerras en el planeta Tierra. El método Yuen es la única clase online que resuelve de verdad el problema. Todos los programas son en inglés y en español. Ustedes tienen la oportunidad de seguir mejorando. No solo ustedes, sino su familia y también sus animales, porque al fin y al cabo sus animales también forman parte de la familia. Ustedes pueden borrar su mente y su espíritu estando en estos programas y entonces ustedes pueden llegar a tener la realidad que ustedes quieren en su vida. Todos pueden llegar a ser expertos en esto. Ustedes pueden seguir mejorando en estos programas gratuitos y además traigan a más personas, porque entonces si ustedes traen a más personas, van a mejorar más ustedes, porque entonces las personas de su entorno mejorará, y ustedes estarán mejor. Pueden decírselo a cualquier persona de cualquier parte del mundo, la pueden traer aquí y mejoraremos todos. Y ha dicho, podemos resolver también la falta de confianza entre nosotros y entre los humanos. El doctor Yuen ha dicho, hay una película llamada Círculo de Hierro, en la que aparecía David Carradine y también David Cooper, y dice que este último era el que iba buscando la respuesta final. Pero se ve que en la película la respuesta final es realmente mirarte en el espejo y no estar confundido ni por tu mente, ni por tu espíritu, ni por la mente de otros, ni por el espíritu de otros. Es aplicar el conocimiento y debe ser automático en segundos. No debe tomar toda la vida. Ha dicho, vengan a este programa diario que tenemos todos los días de lunes a viernes a las 11:45 de la mañana, hora de California, para mejorar el planeta. Hemos estado mejorando acerca de los talibanes, de China, del cambio climático. Hemos mejorado muchísimas cosas y cuantas más personas asistan, más fuerte será la mejora. El doctor Yuen dice, yo esto ya no lo hago por dinero, yo ya tengo todo el dinero que necesito. Lo hago por mejorar al mundo. Y es así como debe hacerse. Y no se trata de seguir las palabras de nadie, ni tener muchas palabras. No se trata de eso. Se pueden arreglar las cosas con muy pocas palabras. Y el doctor Yuen dice que en realidad él no dice las cosas como los demás. utiliza otras palabras y utiliza las palabras justas y lo hace muy simple. Y no hace falta estar trabajando de sol a sol como hacen muchas personas. Incluso si ustedes llegan a hacer el método Yuen, pueden dejar de tener un jefe y tener su propio horario. Ustedes pueden conectar con lo que ustedes quieren, necesitan y desean. El Dr. Yuen dice que se puede trabajar menos y pide a las personas que no le pidan que él enseñe Kung Fu, que no hace falta ya que él enseñe Kung Fu. Lo que hace falta es enseñar esto, cómo las personas pueden mejorarse a sí mismos. El Dr. Yuen nos da la oportunidad de que os unáis a él en estos programas. Tenéis eventos gratis para un momento, para una mejora de un momento, pero si queréis mejorar más, debéis inscribiros en los otros programas que tiene, que además no son caros. Son el programa de niños, el programa para personas mayores, el programa para animales, el programa para problemas mentales y adicciones, el programa para lesiones deportivas y lesiones de la vida, o el programa para la certificación, que es para aprender método Yuen. El Dr. Yuen dice que hay que fortalecer con la computadora interna y hay que aprender casi por ósmosis. No hay que memorizar. Por ósmosis significa que simplemente estás escuchando y ya lo absorbes. Dice que no hay que memorizar porque eso lo hace la mente. Si mejoramos a los niños, entonces no habrá más bullying. Dice que Estados Unidos es el verdadero bully del mundo con los demás países y ha nivelado a todos los países para que Estados Unidos no haga eso más. Estados Unidos son los primeros del mundo en tiroteos, pero ellos siguen creyendo que son los primeros del mundo en lo mejor. Los números 1. Si alguien te pone una pistola en la cabeza, estés donde estés, eso te afecta. Entonces, Estados Unidos no puede decir que los demás países son unos cobardes, como dice a veces cuando intenta meterse a resolver los problemas de otros países en el mundo. Todos tenemos que estar nivelados. El Dr. Yuen dice que él vivirá al menos 100 años porque él se ha propuesto eso. Él tiene ahora 80 años, pero tú puedes escoger cuántos años quieres vivir. Y entonces preguntó si había más preguntas acerca de animales y pasamos a una persona que decía que su perra tenía muchos cambios de humor y estaba diagnosticada de problema de tiroides. El Dr. Yuen dijo que el problema en realidad provenía del dueño, así que había que fortalecer al dueño. Y fortaleció la conexión entre él y su perra y dijo que su perra siente que su dueño es más mental de lo que debería, se preocupa y piensa más de lo que debería. Ha borrado pensamientos que le afectaban al dueño para que esto después no afecte a la perra. Y les pidió a todos que pensaran en algo que les afectara porque iba a ser borrado para todos. Lo borró para todos. Ustedes han debido percibir un cambio ahora simplemente por estar escuchando, aunque no comprendieran la traducción. Y esto es sin palabras. Ustedes fueron fortalecidos sin palabras. Fortaleció el entorno y esta persona dijo que se sentía mejor. Y dijo el Dr. Yuen que todos habían sido fortalecidos a través de esta persona. Y ahora todos sus animales estarán mejor. Y cuando sus animales se comuniquen con ustedes, ahora todo estará mejor. La comunicación estará mejor y sus animales estarán diferentes ahora. Puede que en otro momento haya otra cosa diferente que borrar, pero en cada momento hay que percibir qué es lo que hay que borrar. Digan a muchas personas sobre esto para que todos sus animales estén mejor. Tenemos la tendencia de aplicar nuestra mente o poner nuestra mente en nuestros animales y en nuestros niños. Pero si ponemos tanta mente en eso, entonces habrá más problema. No pongan su mente en sus niños ni en sus animales. Porque entonces puede ser que los niños y los animales empiecen a desarrollar problemas que no estaban antes ahí, incluido el autismo. Fíjense que solo por $100 al mes o menos, porque hay una oferta de 4 meses por 3, pueden mejorar a sus animales o a sus niños de cualquier cosa. Y esto es realmente una inversión en su bienestar. Teníamos el perro de otra persona que tosía a menudo y el veterinario le dijo que esto quizá provenía del corazón. El Dr. Yuen le dijo, bueno, no existe un quizá. Si no lo sabe, pues vamos a ver en realidad de dónde viene esto. En realidad provenía del colon y estuvo fortaleciendo el colon de esta perrita, que era las debilidades en el colon lo que le estaban provocando tos. Fortaleció su intestino delgado y el sistema digestivo y el sistema de eliminación. El doctor Yuen dijo, no es correcto que nos hayan dicho que todo el tubo es tubo digestivo. Hay una parte que es digestivo y otra parte que es de eliminación. No se pueden mezclar las dos cosas. Es como si alguien intenta mezclar la cocina con el baño. No, están separados porque uno toma los nutrientes y otro los elimina. Entonces ha fortalecido a este animal sin mencionar lo que era, sin palabras, y la persona dijo que aún le preocupaba. El doctor Yuen dijo, bueno, el problema ahora es la preocupación del dueño, no lo que le pasa a la perra. Entonces lo borró y la persona dijo que se sentía mejor. El doctor Yuen dijo, era un problema de ella, no del perro. Y esto pasa en la mayoría de los casos cuando son problemas en animales. Hay que borrar el problema del dueño, la preocupación del dueño o la preocupación del veterinario. Hay personas que tienen familiares en el hospital y si se preocupan por ellos los van a poner peor con la preocupación. Hay que borrar la preocupación y el pensar excesivo. Hacemos esta mejora por proxy. ¿Esto qué quiere decir? Por un sustituto, una persona que está preguntando por el animal o la persona que tiene el problema y se borra todo a través de esta persona que hace de sustituto o de proxy. Para esta persona o esta perrita que tenía desequilibrio en las patas, ha dicho que había desnivelación entre las piernas y los pies, o sea, las patas y las almohadillas, los pies. Las patas de adelante no estaban aguantando bien el peso. Ha dicho que era un problema de ingeniería más bien. Los doctores no tienen este conocimiento de ingeniería a no ser que hayan estudiado la carrera. Ha dicho que los hombros no estaban nivelados y tampoco estaban nivelados con la cadera y había que activar la inteligencia física de la cola. El doctor Yuen ha dicho que estos son los fortalecimientos que tenían que ser hechos para esta perrita o este animal, no recuerdo ahora mismo. Y entonces la dueña dijo que se sentía mejor. El doctor Yuen ha dicho que tiene conexión con la Sociedad Humana de San Diego, que protege a los animales y les hace muchas donaciones a ellos. Ustedes, si quieren, pueden escribir a esta asociación y comentar lo que hemos hecho hoy aquí. También pueden colaborar pueden colaborar con ellos. Es una sociedad protectora de animales. El doctor Yuen dice que ustedes deben compartir esto con más gente y así ustedes estarán mejor también, porque así el entorno de ustedes estará mejor. Cuando ustedes vengan a estos programas es muy importante que hagan las cosas breves, respondan muy breve al doctor Yuen, porque entonces está todo más claro. Si él les pregunta, digan sí o no, ustedes digan solo sí o no. No hace falta dar muchas explicaciones, no es necesario, porque muchas explicaciones vienen de la mente y la mente siempre nos va a dar más problemas. Ha fortalecido el proceso para que todos aquí mejoren más rápido. Y también para esta persona que tenía gatitos con parásitos y gatos con parásitos, el doctor Yuen ha dicho que los parásitos vinieron de alguna hierba o alguna tierra con la que estuvieron en contacto. Ha puesto más alcalinos los fluidos del cuerpo y ha fortalecido el sistema nervioso central del cuerpo de los gatos para que los parásitos se reduzcan a moléculas, átomos, partículas cuánticas y a lo que eran antes de ser parásitos. Y cuando ya están en ese estado, los envía a otras dimensiones, universos, tiempos y espacios. Ha borrado la preocupación excesiva de esta persona de creer que el problema de sus gatos con parásitos no podía ser resuelto. Y le ha dicho que también puede comprar una medicina antiparásitos, la puede comprar incluso en Amazon, no hace falta ni que vaya al veterinario. Dice el doctor Yuen, no quiero que piensen ustedes que yo vendo esta medicina, yo no la vendo. Y le ha borrado a ella que cada vez que ha resuelto una cosa en su vida, le conectó con muchísimas cosas que no pudo resolver. Por eso esto le estaba costando resolverlo. Borró eso y lo borró de todas las moléculas de su cuerpo y hace que no afecte a sus animales. Les invitó a todos a inscribirse en el programa para animales, que será todos los viernes. Así todas las personas van a poder fortalecer a todos sus animales cada semana. Les ha dado muchas gracias por venir. Y ha dicho que es así como obtendremos un mejor planeta para vivir en él. Todos pueden hacer esto. No es que solo unos pocos tengan el privilegio de poder mejorar a la gente, como dicen muchos expertos. Todos podemos hacer esto. Se puede seguir fortaleciendo para seguir mejorando y mejorando. Y esto es la vida real y lo que debería ser la vida real. Que todos nosotros podamos resolver nuestros problemas. Así es como se mejora. No se mejora fingiendo que todo está bien y ya está y desconectando de los problemas como si no existieran. No, hay que borrarlos. Hay que borrar las debilidades y así es como se mejora. Y si ustedes mejoran a otros, entonces todos tendrán dinero. Y no serán ustedes una papelera emocional donde ustedes sigan echando sus emociones y otras personas les pongan sus emociones también ahí y después llegan a un punto en que ya no saben cómo salir de ahí con tantas emociones. Dice que hay famosos que no saben cómo lidiar con la fama, no saben cómo lidiar con su éxito. Y muchos de ellos han recurrido al Dr.Yuen para que les mejore. Pero ellos no lo han dicho públicamente que han recurrido al Dr.Yuen. El Dr.Yuen dice que él estuvo en China una vez, estuvieron en un parque con sus alumnos mejorando a la gente. La verdad que la mayoría de los alumnos eran de Estados Unidos. Y mejoramos a todos los asistentes y a todos los que pasaban por allí. Estábamos hablando en inglés e incluso personas chinas que pasaban por allí que no entendían el idioma inglés le hacían un signo levantando el puño como que muy bien, que estaban notando los cambios, que estaban notando que él estaba mejorando a la gente. Dice que todos los que pasaron por allí dijeron que el Dr.Yuen lo estaba haciendo muy bien. Todos sus alumnos, incluso todas las personas que pasaban por allí, que ya les digo que no entendían el idioma inglés. Muchas personas presenciaron esto que estaba haciendo el Dr.Yuen en este parque en China. Con estas cosas que hacemos podemos cambiar el tiempo que estamos aquí. Podemos avanzar y estar más tiempo en este planeta si queremos. El Dr.Yuen ya ha decidido que él va a estar todavía al menos 20 años en este planeta. Podemos cambiar todo lo que queramos. Hay grupos religiosos que le dicen al Dr.Yuen que solo Dios puede cambiar las cosas, pero eso no es así. Podemos cambiar lo que queramos. Y el Dr.Yuen dice, lo sé bien porque estudié 10 años de religión. Dice, bueno, en realidad no estudié. Yo solo estaba allí escuchando. Yo no estaba memorizando, porque sé que memorizar viene de la mente. Mis profesores a veces se enfadaban si yo no les comprendía en inglés, cuando yo aún no hablaba inglés correctamente. Pero bueno, yo ya superé eso. Eso no es importante. Incluso puede ser que la mayoría de mis profesores ya ni siquiera vivan, porque yo soy muy anciano, ha dicho el Dr.Yuen. Es mejor no intentar comprender, solo sentir. No piensen demasiado, no hablen demasiado, no escriban demasiado, porque todo eso son experiencias mentales negativas. Si tienen un problema, no hablen de él, porque se pondrá peor. O al menos no hablen mucho de él. Hay personas que pueden contar su problema hasta 1000 veces. Cada vez que lo cuentan, lo están poniendo mucho peor. Eso es como diarrea verbal. No dejéis que las personas intenten que vosotros seáis así también. No dejéis que intenten que habléis mucho y que penséis mucho. Porque si no dejáis que hagan eso con vosotros, eso será beneficioso para vosotros, para vuestros animales, para vuestros niños y para vuestros familiares mayores. Así todos estarán mejor. Pues muy bien, hasta aquí la traducción de lo que el Dr.Yuen ha dicho. Muchísimas gracias a todos por venir y muchísimas gracias a Lore Hatton y a Cristina Horvath que han estado colaborando con nosotros. Muchas gracias.